Hello everyone. We're back once again. Today we're going to be talking about East Africa as a whole. We're going to be talking about the geographical, the historical and the cultural. So I've got some questions to ask my dad right here and we're ready now.
Am I your dad?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You're taller than me and you say I'm your dad.
But the first question I've got to ask you is, what places in East Africa have you personally visited yourself?
Oh, I mean, as you already know, I was born in Uganda, and in Uganda I stayed there until I was 15.
Okay.
And then I went to Rwanda. But visiting, I was not visiting Rwanda. I was there for a mission.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah.
And during my time in Rwanda, I was in Burundi as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And it was a visit.
Yeah.
Not intentional visit, but I was part of the people who were with the visitors.
Yeah.
Another country in East Africa that I've been in is Kenya.
Kenya?
I loved Kenya.
Which one was your favourite out of all of them?
Uganda.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Uganda is always going to be better because that's where I was born, that's where I have my memories.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you and here. You are not going to wake up in the morning and like France more than here. It's never going to happen because that's where you were born. But anyway, Kenya was also a good place for me because, you know, East African countries, we have a lot in common. The culture, the food, the languages. You know, even the languages, they may be different, but there's always words that we share.
The same, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I was in another country I can say I was in East Africa is Tanzania.
Okay.
I stepped to Tanzania for a few hours.
Just a few
for
hours?
The reasons that I cannot explain.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. With DRC, I never stepped a foot in DRC.
Really?
No.
Okay.
But I was around the border for some reason.
Okay, yeah.
But I never went there physically. There's a time when we had to spend some time on the border for meetings and all that. Yeah, but entering physical and, you know, talking to people or spending the night, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda and Kenya.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, another one I want to ask you, I've just come up with it. Between all countries, which two are the most similar?
Burundi and Rwanda, they're very, very similar. Not as in land. Of course, Burundi has a slightly bigger land than Rwanda.
Okay.
But the language, the culture and everything, we are the same people.
Practically the same.
But there can be some differences, like you see how the Scottish speak and the English.
Okay, yeah.
That's the only difference, but the language is almost the same.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Now, I want to ask you a bit more of a cultural question.
Yeah.
Which traditions from your childhood do you think are disappearing?
I mean, I don't find it very challenging to accept, especially being that even when we started knowing, myself, when I started knowing, there was traditions going. Yeah. And there was some new ones coming in and other old ones disappearing. Okay. Which applied to also my ancestors because that's the world we live in.
Yeah, things change.
Things change. We can't have a world where things stays the same all the time, especially nowadays, the world we live in. Things are changing so rapidly because of globalization and technology. So I think it's applying to all countries because especially the African countries, mainly East African countries, are countries that are mainly fixated on development.
Yeah, of course.
And they have accepted to adapt development in technology, and they have adapted the culture of change. But there are other countries in the world that are still stuck, or some regions that are still stuck. But obviously, Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, things change. Things change, and some traditions are getting missed. I'll give you an example. some years ago, ladies did not have a say, either in politics. They did not have a say in who to get married to. There were arranged marriages being made in certain cultures of East Africa. But those things have disappeared, and we all agree that they were not
right.
the choices of the people.
Yeah.
So when you are promoting choice, you have to accept that some of the traditions will go, but they were not very constructive to how we want people to live life. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Now you were talking about development. What next question I've got to ask you is, how have cities like Kigali, Nairobi, Kampala, Dodoma, how have they changed over time, would you say?
I mean, when I was growing up, Nairobi was the capital city of East Africa.
Yeah, that was the most well known. Yeah.
It had always been a big city and very interesting, and they happened to see development of buildings and roads before most of the East African countries. Kampala has always been Kampala. Kampala has always been a free town where people can do whatever they want.
Yeah. And
it actually proved to be very challenging when it came to, hygiene and making the city look the way you would love to see cities.
Yeah.
But that has come to an end because they are working so hard to get that city in a picture that is on world standard. There's a lot happening, and I have to say that there has been a lot spoken about in the last few weeks, because for a city to shine, there has to be moving out those who cannot afford the image of how the city should be looking like. And it has ended up having some people being asked to leave, and these houses which don't really fit the image of what is needed, they have been put down. But there is also a lot of complaints from locals saying that they are being moved without being paid, which is a political thing that we don't need to go into. But it's affecting people, and I think the government is thinking or looking into how they can compensate the people to get this city moving. And I think they have done a very good work in a short time of how it's looking now. They have built roads, but mainly suburbs and faraway districts. Very good roads. But Kampala, making sure those roads go to the high standards, it's going to take time because, again, there's a need to move some people, and there's a need to slow down, the traffic in order for this to be done. I think the leaders of Uganda or Kampala in general, they have so much work at the moment, of course, being a democratic nation with a lot of questions from the locals.
Yeah, of course.
With the Nairobi is looking very, very, very beautiful. Looking at the roads, looking at the buildings.
Which would you say is the most developed between all of them? Would it have to be Nairobi?
There has been a shift in the last few years. Looking at the work done in Dodoma and Dar es Salaam, looking at the roads and the train lines, I think Tanzania has been very silent and rebuilding itself.
They're just working,
Yeah, they're working. So it will be up to the YouTubers and the journalists who travels a lot.
Would be able to.
They will tell us the truth. But looking at the cleanest city with beautiful buildings and a good work done in terms of capital city, and also how the connection of transport is designed, I think Kigali is looking better than most of them. They may claim to be bigger than Kigali, but do you want 14 million population to have a bigger city than Nairobi?
Yeah, it doesn't need to.
So it's on these highs, on the population of the nation, Kigali is better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now the next question I have to ask is it's a bit more of a deeper.
We didn't talk about Burundi though.
Oh, yeah.
Bujumbura is really in chaos.
Well, what about Kitega?
Kitega is actually it is a city for it was the capital city is a business city. Bujumbura is bigger than Gitega. Gitega is a city which was designed. It has always been there. Even the king worked there anyway, but they moved the government to work from there. Yeah, because I think it was a good idea having the government working in Gitega and having the business and commercial businesses in Bujumbura, because it can be sometimes very disturbing. If you look at Kampala and Nakasero, the ministries where they are and the business, the trading areas, it becomes chaos. And that's why Kigali is slightly doing well. Why? Because the ministries are on the other side of the city. But having the commercial businesses together with the ministries, it can be a bit of a traffic, especially with the border systems of Uganda. Yeah, but Gitega, I think it was a good idea moving the government to work in Gitega and the commercial business to remain in Bujumbura. It is a bit
smart,
yeah, because if you have an appointment in a ministry, for example, because you need to travel and you need to be there in time, and the ministers and all the people who works in government buildings, they need to have somehow to get where they are going.
Yeah, of course.
But if they are in the center of the town, the traffic of Kampala.
Yeah, they're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Which is also Nairobi will need to think of, because even though they have their leaders staying in Westlands and other areas of the capital, but when you look on the other side of the city, there's some slums that you can't even imagine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they remain in the heart of the city. Yeah.
Now, this is the deeper question I wanted to ask you. Do you feel more connected to your country, your ethnic group, your village, or East Africa as a whole?
I would say East Africa, but of course you can't be in the whole of East Africa.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that you see the Americans talk about when they talk about America having 50-something states. It doesn't stop them being Americans.
Yeah, of course.
But if someone is born in California, they always think of California as home.
Before,
Yeah.
Of course. That makes sense. And what are you proudest about when it comes to East African history?
We have a lot of things we are proud of. One of the things that makes us unique, we come from the Great Lakes.
Okay.
The Great Lakes is an area which has so many lakes, and with so many lakes, it gives us a very good air to breathe.
Yeah.
We have mountains, hills, we have forests, we have trees, we have big land with farms, and we have been successfully kept on side of the desert. Because when you look, we're vegetarian land.
Yeah.
We have very good food.
Yeah, of course.
And with those lakes, we have fish. With those farms, we have animals. We still have animals. Not only the animals to keep and farm, but also the animals that creates tourists to come and see. I don't even call them animals that can hurt anyone anymore, because human life have developed the ways to work with animals. And some years ago in 1800, the older people who lived here in the world before us, they used to tell us how animals were very scary and how they used to attack homes. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, of course.
So we have animals for tourists to come to attract the world. We have animals for farming. We have normal farming for crops, cash crops. We have minerals. So East Africa, I think we are blessed in East Africa.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even question, because I was looking on the news the other day when we were talking about how South Africa doesn't like people to come and stay in their country. And I was asking myself, why did they even go there? Because we have a lot that we can do in our own space.
Yeah.
Because, don't get me wrong, it's not the government that was doing that. It's just their own people who do not feel that other people should come and do business in their land. But East Africa is welcoming still. We're still welcoming others. We have enough land, and we still like experts in anything as we grow into a region that can trade with the whole world in any way. We have the youth, young people who, like you, who are educating themselves. Some are doing IT. We have engineers, we have doctors, and we are open to work with the whole world. East Africa is a welcoming place. So long as East Africa continue the vision of opening what we call business for East Africa to move. If you are Rwandese, be allowed to travel to Tanzania and do your business, be allowed to go to Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, able to move around. That is called free movement and common market. That's what President Museveni have always preached to get on that. I know they had a few challenges in 1980s. It was stopped because the presidents who were there were not getting on that, but this treaty has already been signed. So what is required now is to see that the peace of DRC is achieved. And once it's achieved, people can make money from wherever you are. It won't be a case of looking at just trading in Rwanda or trading in Uganda. People will be able to move around and trading.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Now you mentioned earlier about about all the landscapes that East Africa have. How different are the landscapes from country to country? These countries, as much as we appreciate that East Africa is together, because all these borders were brought by the colonies. Before, we didn't have borders. And this is why sometimes I just laugh at people who think that they are Ugandans more than Rwandans. And the Rwandans who think that they are more Rwandans than Congolese. And Congolese who think that they are more Congolese than Zambians. And Zambians who think that they are more Zambians than Zimbabweans. There was something I saw on TikTok. I want to ask you.
Because when these borders were being put in place, they did not take anyone's DNA.
That's true. There was something else I saw. What is Rwanda?
That is in Uganda, because of the mother tongue of Ugandans. They call us Bannarwanda. Or Munyarwanda. Munyarwanda is one. Bannarwanda is plural, singular. So, but in our own language, we are called Abanyarwanda. And Abanyarwanda means Rwandans. That's what it means. But of course, if you go in DRC and someone wants to say Umunyarwanda or Umunyarwanda, they will say Warwande. So they can call you in a way that suits their language. But it's the same word.
The same thing. Because I saw it on TikTok. Someone was saying Munaranda or something like that. And I didn't know what it meant, so I just wanted to ask.
You know, because we had a very dark history, when others were celebrating the independence, for us, we had already started. You know what they had started?
Started what?
Killing each other. They are very experienced. They started. In 1959, they were already chasing away the king. They were chasing away the Tutsis and all that. So we ended up being born outside the country. Because our parents and our grandparents, they ran away and they entered Uganda, Rwanda, DRC, Burundi, Kenya, Tanzania. But of all things that we have always been subjected to is that wherever we go, apparently we get involved too much, which is true. And if we didn't get involved too much, we would not have gone back home.
That's true.
We would have become like the Jews in Egypt. If Moses was not there to return them, they were servants.
That's true.
Yeah, so they wanted us to just stay there, clap our hands for them forever. So our families, our older brothers, they engaged in that war to bring peace before we can fight for our own self. So the Ugandans seems to, not all of them, but there's so many people who makes those comments, which isn't true. It became like an insult in Uganda to be called a Mnyarwanda at some point.
Really?
But we did not say we are not. We always admitted that yes, we are so what.
Okay,
Never run away from what you are, so long as you haven't committed a crime. Yes. We are Rwandans. They can say whatever they want, but they still marry our sisters. They have had children with our sisters.
That's true,
Other brothers of ours have married their sisters. We have mixed. We have our ancestral lands. They never gave us land. We bought land. We worked for them, bought land, and installed the peaceful government for them. But just because President Museveni is in power and he did everything to keep us safe, when he came to power, we were not tormented since then.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he follows, and he put us in the constitution. He said we've been there enough time. The people who came there from 1927, where else can you take them?
They can't go anywhere.
When the partition of Africa was being made, some of them remained outside the Rwandan side, but they still speak the same language. Why? Because Rwanda was cut. There are people who were in Uganda, and when the border was put between Uganda and Rwanda, some families stayed there and some families stayed there. They still cross the border and visit each other. The ancestral lands still remain the same, which applied to Kenya. You see Busia or Maraba on the borders of Uganda and Kenya. Some stayed in Kenya, some stayed in, because when the British or whoever, the white person who was doing the scramble of Africa, when they are doing it, they never asked for the DNA, which they didn't have until the Frenchman discovered it just a few years ago. So you look at the Sudan border, southern Sudan. Some are in Uganda, some are in Sudan. You can be a Sudanese, but it doesn't stop you from being a relative to a Ugandan, because that's how the borders were done, which is the product. These products of M23 are also at a certain percentage. It's the same problem.
Of course.
Look at Burundi. Burundi was one country with Rwanda. They used to call it Rwanda Burundi. When the Germans were still the ones in colonizing the area. But and Germany was colonizing Tanzania as well. But when they brought the Belgians, they just separated us. Finish. So there are historical issues that we cannot resolve. But there are also cultural and geographical issues that we need to live with. Yes, and that's the good thing that comes out of having East Africa together. Yes.
Okay. The next question I want to ask you is, this one's good actually. Which cultural values were strongest when you were growing up?
The thing is, the cultural values of East Africans are almost the same.
Almost the same. Okay.
Yes, the only difference is that they are spoken in different languages.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people, and because those days, in the old days, there was no communication. That's how we developed so many languages. Because if we had communication,
then everyone would be speaking this.
people would be speaking less languages.
Yeah.
Because you see here where we are, if you walked like 10 miles, you will fall into another ethnicity.
Okay.
Not even ethnicity, because we are all the same.
Yeah.
But another vocabulary, vernacular. We
Yeah.
call it vernacular in history.
Okay.
And but in a similar version of communication, because if you come from Rwanda speaking Kinyarwanda and you land into Kisoro, you find that there are people called the Abafumbira. They speak the Kinyarwanda of a different version. The accent is different.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you cross over by getting to Rukunjiri, Sinjironi Gayaza, or getting to Marara or Kabare. They are speaking another language. Some are speaking Ruchiga, others are speaking Kinyankore, but the words can be dragged into the Kinyarwanda.
Okay, yeah.
But sometimes you find that the word which means that may mean something
else.
different.
Yeah.
Which applies to the Shonas of Zimbabwe.
Okay.
When they speak their language, the Shona language, they cannot speak 4 sentences without hearing a Burundi word or Rwanda word or a Zambian word.
Okay.
So the Bantu tribe speaks almost the same language, but is scattered.
Okay.
Yeah, so the values you're talking about, I love the values of us, especially East Africans, because that's where I know very well.
Yeah.
Because when we are growing up, they always remind us about kindness, love, care. There's something they keep telling us every day, and sometimes I get surprised when I see that there are people who goes beyond and forget about it. There's something especially in Kinyarwanda, that's where I kept hearing this word very much. And the Bahimas of Uganda, the Museveni tribe, saying that Nimuzahemuki means kudahemuka is not to betray anybody.
Okay.
Betrayal, hey, it's a big thing. If you betray anybody, in our culture, you have totally destroyed. They could even curse you in the family. Betrayal is the worst that you don't do.
Okay.
Yeah. So our values, when you look at them, I actually laughed when I was in the university and they were telling us about professional values. They are all in our culture. Yeah. All the professional values, they are in our culture.
Okay.
And they make the law. Yeah. Because they make the duty of care, accountability, duty of candor, all of that, and responsibility.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I love the values that we share in East Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're good values, to be fair.
And when you see a teenager or a man who is doing something that contradicts with the values, you hear someone telling you in a very silent way, and says that person was never had a very good upbringing.
Yeah.
They don't say he's a criminal, but they are saying did not get the right upbringing.
Even I've had that one a lot, you know. Yeah, it's the upbringing,
Yeah.
That's true. Now the final question we have for today is gonna be, I'm gonna pick a good one here.
I can ask you a question as well.
Okay, go on, ask me a question.
Well, what have you learned from the culture of our culture since we started talking about our culture, and since you started understanding the world?
I've learned, well, one thing I've learned, and it took me, for some reason, it took me quite a while to realize it, yeah? East Africans are so different to West Africans.
Oh, you finally realizing that?
So different.
Why are we different?
I don't know. I don't want to generalize. That's the problem. I don't want to generalize, but I'd say East Africans are a little bit more reserved.
Yeah, and they don't answer what they don't understand.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I'd say, yeah, they're just very different in everything they do. Like a lot of people, especially in this country, a lot of people in the country they seem to think that Africa as a whole, people are of the same. They act the same.
That's where they get it wrong.
Yeah.
But as the world is getting together because of the globalizations we're talking about,
yeah,
people will get to know the differences.
Yeah, yeah, people will.
There's only one downside of us. They will be reserved. You can stamp on them and go, but one day they'll come for you.
Yeah.
That's the only downside.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
And also, what you eat is different as well. East Africans eat different. It's similar, but it's different diet, I would say. You have more vegetables in your food, East Africans.
We have food. If you look at especially in Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, mainly and Eastern Congo, the food we have is it's very rare to find it in West Africa.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because when you look at the food groups that we have, are mainly vegetarian food.
That's what I said. Yeah, it's very vegetarian.
We have the matoke, which are the bananas. We have cassava. We have sweet potatoes and normal potatoes. We have now rice. When I was growing up, it was very hard to have rice. It was not enough.
Yeah.
I tell you, it took me years to know about apples.
Really?
Yeah, because we had mangoes.
Yeah, mangoes.
We had oranges. We had a lot of other fruits, but the apples and what are those things ladies like so much? The small things.
Pomegranates?
No, these small fruits that people like.
They're very small?
Grapes.
Grapes. Oh, grapes.
We didn't have all that.
Okay, yeah.
So there were so many fruits that were not very common. But now, our farming group have been very active.
Yeah, yeah.
And they actually export food.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, even here in London, even Boston in America, Canada, you find that they transport food all over the world. So the farming has been very, very growing. If you look at, I was looking at one of the articles a few months ago, whereby Uganda is producing so much milk that they don't know where to put it.
Really?
Yes. That means every Ugandan is able to afford milk because it's cheap and it's available. Yeah. But in 1986, when they came to power, there was not enough milk.
Really?
No. Because they had been in wars for quite a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
And when the NRM government came in power, they brought a system in place whereby, because those days we had African cows and they only gives you like 2 liters. But they brought the Frisians from Switzerland and UK and everywhere. Those cows, they will give you 15 liters in the morning and another 15 in the evening. So you tell me, how many liters are you going to be getting in a week? These dairies everywhere.
Yeah.
Uganda is it was actually a question a few months ago when the Kenyans started limiting how many liters goes to Kenya. And Uganda was actually questioning where are we going to sell our milk, because Rwanda also has put money in those cows that gives a lot of milk. So Rwanda does not require so much milk from outside. Yeah. And so what they do then, they have to opt into making cheese.
Yeah. Okay.
And then exporting.
Okay, that makes sense.
But obviously, humans, there's always going to be critics, and which I do as well. I criticize as well sometimes. But when you look at where we have come from and where we are, you sometimes have to give credit to some people.
That's true.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot. Surely in Uganda, you must eat a lot of fish as well because of the lake.
Yeah, but there has been restrictions on fishing.
Okay.
Because the people have been just grabbing every fish, even the born ones,
really?
newborn ones.
Oh, okay.
So they have to be inspecting them. Otherwise, they would take all of the young ones. And what happens? And this is something they have to agree on with Kenya and Tanzania and Uganda because they share the lake.
Yeah.
So, but you find people crying, saying they are stopping us from fishing, this and that, but they're stopping you because they are wanting you to get the right fish.
Yeah, you're gonna end up.
Otherwise, you end up with nothing.
Yeah, nothing will be there. Yeah.
You eat crocodiles or something. Yeah.
But that's all we have for today. If you guys have enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and catch us on the next one. All right. Thank you very much, and murabe honeza.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you, everyone.